Hello, Go Horrors and Deadites. I'm Sam, and welcome to Our Life in Horror. I'm going to be doing my September wrap up. I can't believe it is already October. Happy Halloweenish. Happy Halloween Eve. I don't know. The whole month of October is basically Halloween for me. Even September, I already watched Halloween Town, so yeah. And speaking of that, I completely forgot to put Halloween Town on my Letterboxd, so I'm gonna have to add that in. What shows did I watch this month? I watched The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, I believe it was called. That one was a lot of fun. There's only one season. It is all about the scandal that went on with the Mormon swingers. If you're not familiar with that on TikTok, there's now a show. I believe it's on Disney Plus, so go check that out if you're into reality TV. That one was a lot of fun. I'm excited for the next season. I'm hoping there is one. I also watched The Perfect Couple, and that is definitely a 5-star for me. It's based off of a book. I did not read the book, but I love this. It has Nicole Kidman. It's got Dakota Fanning. It's got so many people in this, and it is so good. I watched it literally in a day, and it's like a murder mystery thriller about rich people, and I really enjoyed it. I was so invested. I could not stop watching it. Another show. Oh, I've been catching up on Teen Mom. Yes, I still watch that. I've been watching Teen Mom since I was a teenager. I remember watching it when I was 16, and it was 16 and Pregnant, the first season. And I've been literally watching them get older as I get older with their kids. And I don't even have kids, but I'm still interested in it. I like all the drama and seeing them go through therapy and better themselves, I guess. I don't know. I still enjoy it. So my first movie that I watched in September was Dawn of the Dead, which we did a live on that with Maddie McCobb. So go back and check that out if you'd like. I gave this a 2.5 stars. I was not the biggest fan of this movie. Zombies are a hit or miss for me anyway. They're not really my go-to. Yeah, I was a little bit bored in this movie personally. I know a lot of people love this movie. It just wasn't for me. The next movie I watched Twisters 2024. I love Glenn Powell, so this was an easy one for me. 4.5 stars I gave this, and it's funny because I actually watched this on my phone and still loved it. And this is a movie that I should have went to the theater for. I was really hoping to see it in 4DX and just never got around to it. But the fact that I watched it on my phone and still gave it a 4.5 stars is pretty good. The next movie I watched was Fresh, and it actually has the same girl in Twisters starring in Fresh, which is kind of cool. Fresh was right up my alley. I can't believe it took me this long to watch because it came out in 2022. I gave this one a 4-star. It's got a little bit of a captivity aspect to it, and that's like some of my favorite type of horror. So yeah, definitely recommend Fresh if you are late to that one like me. Next I went to the theater with Brendan and we saw Beetlejuice, and I gave it a 4-star. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I went in with pretty low expectations, but I ended up really loving all of the subplots, and I know people say it's way overstuffed, which I kind of understand people's opinions on that because some of the storylines don't really go anywhere, but I really loved the new character of Dolores and that boy. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give away any spoilers. We did a review on this though, so if you want to check that out, you can look for it on our page. But yeah, I gave that a 4-star. The next movie I watched was Clock from 2023. This is one I've been wanting to watch for a while, especially as a female in our society that does not want children. This movie definitely got under my skin. I gave it a 3.5. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I thought it was pretty good. I also did a review on this, so you can go check that out. My next movie, we did a watch along for Charlie's Farm. This is an Australian slasher movie from 2014, and I gave this a 2.5 star. I had fun with it, and I thought it had some really good kills, but it definitely wasn't a great movie. Acting wise wasn't too great. yeah, quality wise, it's not great, but it's still kind of a fun time to watch with some friends because it does have some fun kills, I guess. And it's got Tara Reid in it. Kind of fun. Depends on your opinion of her. Oh, the next movie I watched, I actually watched it twice. So I logged it twice and I gave it 5 stars both times. This was the French film Red Rooms. This movie's good. This movie's real good. I did a review on it as well, so you can check that out if you want. But man, this movie is disturbing and gets under your skin without actually showing you anything. It is about a girl who gets obsessed with this trial with the serial killer, I guess. So basically, the story is 3 girls were taken and killed, and this guy is up for trial, and this girl becomes obsessed with the case, and it's messed up. It's real messed up. But it doesn't actually show you anything, but it's still so unsettling. So yeah, that's definitely a 5-star movie for me. The next movie is Coraline. This is my first time watching Coraline. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. It's not nostalgic for me, and I think these types of movies, for me to enjoy, have to be a little bit nostalgic. Otherwise, I feel like it's funny, we were having a debate as to whether or not this is a kids movie or not. We did a live on this, so you can go back and check that conversation out if you want, because it has some super dark themes and a super dark storyline. But I still am on the side of this is a kids movie. So yeah, that's why I gave it a 3.5 star. It's nothing, I don't know, not too hyped for me. Next movie I watched was Sleepy Hollow. This was the first time I had watched it since I watched it when I was a kid, I think. So it has been a very long time. This came back out in the 90s, late 90s. I gave it a 3.5. I really liked the atmosphere. It's very gothic vibes. We actually did a live on this as well, so you can go back and check that out if you want. But yeah, it is a little slow for me and not like crazy exciting, but it's still a good spooky watch. So yeah, 3.5 stars. My next movie is In a Violent Nature. It was my first time watching it. I was pretty excited for it, but at the same time, I knew not to get too hyped about it just based off of people's reviews. Some people said it was really slow and lacking in story. And I know for me, I don't do well with slow movies. I like action-packed stuff. I actually did enjoy. I thought the kills were good. Obviously, everyone knows that the kills in that movie are good. The setting was really good. There was some really cool shots in this movie. It was lacking in story, though. People were right. I gave it a 2.5. I would be curious to see a sequel, though. Next movie. This is fun to talk about for me because I was always okay. So Nightmare on Elm Street remake from 2010. I always sort of defended this movie because the first time I watched it, I really liked it. But it was the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie that I had ever seen. So when I got around to watching the original, I realized that they did pull a lot of the story from the original, obviously. So the parts that I liked of it were from the original. Now, when I watched the remake back, I didn't really enjoy it. I was kind of bored. It just didn't do a whole lot for me. The only thing it had going for me was the cast. Kyle Gallner was awesome. But yeah, I gave this, I think it was a 2-star. Sorry, my phone just closed. Yeah, I give this a 2-star. And that's basically just for the cast. So I can no longer call myself a Nightmare on Elm Street remake fan. The next movie I watched was The Final Girls. We also did a live on this. This movie is fucking awesome. I have so much fun with this movie. It doesn't show any like gore or not even any boobies, but it is still such a fun slasher. Like the story and the dialogue is entertaining enough that you almost don't need it. Would I have preferred it? Obviously, then it would be a 5-star film. But I gave this a 4.5, so I still really enjoy it. Obviously, to get that extra half point, I would just want them to not play it so safe. The next movie I watched, this movie was called Escape. And yeah, we did a review for this. It's about 10 girls that get taken from a resort to go into trafficking, and basically them trying to escape. This movie had a lot of plot holes. It was really not good. We did a review on it if you want to go check it out. I gave it a 1 star. Next movie I watched was The Substance. We went to the theaters for it. I loved this movie, everything about it, so much body horror. Even with the 2.5 hour runtime, I still sat in that theater and loved every minute of it. And that is unheard of for me. I usually do not like long movies. So yeah, 5 star for The Substance. Go check out our review for that as well. I absolutely loved Demi Moore's performance. Same with Margaret Qualley, I believe her name was, and Dennis Quaid. Everyone did fantastic. It deals with aging in Hollywood and just our societal pressures on women. Yeah, highly recommend that movie. The next movie I watched was Lore. This is an anthology with Richard Brake. This was pretty good. It wasn't anything that blew me away, but it also wasn't terrible. I gave this a 2.5 star. I liked the final story in the anthology the most. It went all slasher vibes. Every story in this anthology is a different subgenre of horror, which is nice. And I liked the whole I guess wraparound story. They're telling these stories at a campfire, which I liked. We did a review on that as well, of course, so you can check that out if you'd like. And I love Richard Brake. Next movie I watched, I did a rewatch of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 03 remake. I was sick and just felt like watching it. It's one of my favorites. This is obviously for me a 5 star. Fucking love that movie. We actually have Brendan and I went on to the Core 4 podcast, I believe. That episode drops today. We were talking about horror movie remakes. I'm dropping this video on October 1st, and I think their episode comes out October 1st. So check us out on the Core 4 podcast talking about remakes. I definitely talk about this film. The next movie I watched, we did a watch along on YouTube for the first and second Terrifier movies. So the first Terrifier movie, I gave it a 3 star. Now I'm thinking back, I don't know if I would bump that down to a 2.5. It's definitely lacking story. It's got obviously good kills and practical effects. Oh man, I might leave it at the 3 star actually, because I still have fun with it. When we had so much fun watching it with a group of people online the other day, so I might just leave it. Yeah, I definitely like the second one better though, which I forgot to log, so I'm gonna have to do that. The second one, I think I would probably give a 3.5. See, that does make me want to put the Terrifier down to 2.5. I have a hard time committing to ratings. That's why I don't like Letterboxd. Because some days I might rate a movie higher than other days, which is so bad. Does anyone else do that, or is that just me? I also checked out All Hallows Eve, which I gave a 2.5 star. Probably leave that. That's one of the first movies Art the Clown was in. He was in a short before that, but this is an anthology movie, and it's definitely one of the earlier projects of Damien Leone. The special effects are not as good, but I actually like the storyline better than I did in Terrifier 1. There's more story to it, and I did a review on it too on our YouTube, so you can check that out if you'd like. And lastly, I watched It Ends With Us again. I rewatched it at home. I went to the theater for it, and I gave it a 4.5 at the theater. This time around, I gave it a 4 star. I'm a big fan of the book, so that's probably why I like the movie so much. I do see its flaws. I've watched some other people's reviews on it. I also reviewed this movie on our Patreon. But yeah, probably a 4 star. I feel like the more I watch it, though, it might even go down to a 3.5. But for now, I'll just leave it at a 4 because I did like it. Yeah, so all I'm missing on here, I guess, is Halloween Town. I'll have to add that in, and Terrifier 2. Halloween Town, it's getting a 4 star for me. I can't quite give it a 5 because I get it. It's cheesy, but it's so nostalgic for me. It's a movie I watch every well, I guess it's September, but September or October, I always put it on, especially when I'm decorating the house. It is one that I loved watching on TV when I was a kid. So it's got to get a high rating. Anyone else a fan of that movie? Let me know. What did you guys watch? Let me know in the comments. Do you agree or disagree with my ratings? Do you have any recommendations for me for spooky season to watch? We've got a lot of fun lives coming up for this month, so I'm pumped about that. And please like, share, and subscribe. We finally hit the 400 mark, and we're very excited about it. Thank you so much to all our subscribers. And always remember to stay spooky.